I'm here with Harlan Mitchell, attorney at law, and let's get to some legal questions. Harlan, how are you?
Just fine, you?
I'm good. You know, we've been telling people make sure you deal with reputable companies out there because anytime there's a disaster or much needed need, I guess, for these services, there's going to be some fly-by-night companies come on in and try to take advantage of some folks.
There are, and you know, you need to check on people's references, and you need to get a reference for somebody's done something recently here in the county, and that maybe they've had to go back and fix the problem. And you want to make sure to check the Better Business Bureau, make sure they don't have any complaints there, and you want to make sure they're insured and bonded.
And that's important. Insured and bonded.
Yeah, and you want to make sure they have workers' comp insurance, because if they have an employee get hurt on your property, you want to make sure that they're responsible, not you.
That's huge. What if you have someone at your house, they're working on the roof, someone falls, and next thing you know, you're responsible for all of their medical?
Well, your home insurance may be liable for their injuries, yes.
Wow.
And
people don't really think to ask all these questions.
They don't, but if you've got a contractor coming, you need to ask these questions. And the reputable contractors will have all this.
And they'll be happy to provide it as well.
And they'll be happy to provide it to you, because they want to work, and they want to help the people of Limestone County, because that's where they've been all along. Just like my practice is here, I want to help people in Limestone County, so do other people who have their contractor's license and everything. They want to help the people of Limestone County, and they want to give them a quality job. And they're insured and licensed so that they can do that. That's
right. And we're not saying that if you're from another surrounding city that you want to come in and do any work here in Limestone County. That's perfectly fine. Just make sure you have all of your information available for that homeowner that'll hopefully ask for that. Good. Let's talk about, you know, when these scams, I say when because obviously it's going to take place, but when this happens, if I'm a homeowner and I feel I've been cheated, what do I do?
Well, I know that Brian Jones, our district attorney, has said that he's going to pursue people who are out trying to make scams, and there's several different criminal charges that they can face by doing this. So probably the first thing I'd do would either contact the local law enforcement, and a lot of times they can tell you that you need to, this is a criminal charge we'll pursue for you, or you need to consult an attorney and pursue this civilly. So that'd be the first option, I would think.
Great. And then if they need to call the DA's office, they can certainly do that and let them handle it. This could be a big workload. If
law enforcement decides it's a criminal problem, they'll investigate and pursue the charges. And then that's just, of course, that automatically goes to the DA's office through that process. And if they tell you, no, this is a civil matter, you need to seek civil relief, then they can call an attorney and pursue it that way.
That makes a lot of sense. All right, well, people still getting divorced in Limestone County and Madison County?
They still are.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately, and we still have a lot of the people wanting to use the children as a pawn. You know, that's still something that we have to deal with on a regular basis. You
know, that is the saddest part. I think children just get lost in it, and then, of course, they grow up to be worse children. But they learn how to manipulate each parent. There's a bill on the table right now that they're trying to get passed stating that when you divorce, if you have children, they're going to split the time equally. And this is kind of a father's rights thing because they only get their children 4, 5, 6 days a month. And there's a bill that could pass that is saying that we are going to automatically share custody equally as far as time. Now, that may not be the right answer, but I know if there's good fathers out there, and I know there are many, that would be a great thing for them, but what problems do you see in that?
Well, the main problems I see is the lack of, the way that bill's written is that they'll switch parents and they'll go to different school systems each year. And that's not good.
That's not good.
I think that if they wanted to do something like that, there should be a requirement that both parents live in the same school district. And I've actually seen that work in the past where both parents lived in the same school district and the children were allowed to go back and forth between parents, and the children actually thrived and did better.
Right.
And I know some people are concerned about not having a designated home is a lack of stability for the children. But sometimes the fact that the children don't feel like they have to choose between parents and are free to interact with each parent is more important and gives them a greater sense of stability than one permanent home does.
I have to agree with you on that one, because if they're able to come and go to mom and dad's and they have that security, it's got to do better. Because so many times we've gone to a baseball game or a football game, and it's like you can tell, well, they're not even going to come over here and speak to me. Are you kidding? You know.
Yeah.
And it's just pressure that the parents have put on the child.
Well, and it's a pressure the child does not need.
Right.
And in my opinion, it's almost a form of mental abuse to the child, and that they should. We need a change in the custody laws, but what change is necessary and what's best, I don't know.
Well, if they were to do that, splitting custody equally like that, maybe they could definitely expect them to live in the same district. And when they don't communicate properly or for the best interest of the child, then something be done.
Well, you know, different counties have a requirement that they won't even sign an uncontested divorce until parents complete a parenting class talking about not using their children as pawns. And that might be something that's beneficial for everywhere.
Yeah.
Because sometimes parents don't realize what they're doing to a child.
I don't know if it's mandatory in Limestone County, but Huntsville has, if you have children and you're going through a divorce, conflict resolution. Great program. Because you're so angry and you want to be able to say those things. Go ahead and duke it out in an office where a counselor's there, and then get over it and move on for the kids.
Yeah, and I think that's what happens is the children get lost in the shuffle. And
it's a shame.
And it's a shame. It really is.
They grow up and you have worse problems after that.
Well, you know, they get to become adult and then they're upset because all through their life they were forced to choose between parents.
Yeah.
They didn't have the luxury of going back and forth and having both parents involved on a daily basis in their lives. And both, not only is the parent being cheated, but so is the child.
Yeah, well, definitely. Well, if you're going through any of those issues, call Harlan Mitchell. I'm promising you he'll help you out. He's right here downtown in Athens as well. Thank you, Harlan.
Thank you.
Very good. Also taking care of DUIs. Anything you need for your legal issues, he can help you. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We will return. Stay with us.